Hey, welcome back, friends. I'm going to paint a still life for you tonight. This is let me tell you what this is. This is a panel by SourceTech. They've got a foam core in them. I won a box of them years ago at a plein air competition, so I've been using them. There's the info. They make all kinds of things. In the box, I had an assortment of these and regular panels. I even had some birch wood panels, which I'll have to gesso. I haven't done anything to those yet. So I'll show you what we're going to do. I went outside and cut down some of my lilacs. Aren't they pretty? And put them in this kind of cut glass vase. I thought that would be a good lesson, to suggest some of that pattern. And I put it in a box this time. Don't know why, just did. Let's see if we can get you set up so you can see. Bring you back up. You're a little off to the left because I'm sitting. If I get you in front of it, then you're too close. So, not a perfect scenario. See, if I put you in front, then I think you're too close. Let's try it. So I'm just concerned you won't be able to see the whole panel. So that's not perfect either. Let me try to scooch back a little and get you back a little. I'm sorry I didn't work this out beforehand. I thought I had you where I wanted you, but so how's that? Went out and painted today. We started about 9:30 this morning. It was pretty nippy. The sun peeked in and out and made it somewhat bearable some of the time. I'm a wimp, it's either too chilly or then it's too hot, and I don't like that either, so I said I just complain all year round. All right, we're going to sketch on with some ultramarine blue and some transparent red oxide. That's the darkest dark mixture I can make, and I like to sketch with that. We're using our view catcher like we always do. We will set it. This again is a 6x8. That setting is not marked on here like some of them, so I'm just kind of eyeballing it to what I feel looks correct, and we'll look through that. So we're going fairly high. Going to fill the canvas pretty good. Nothing wrong with that. I think the vase goes about to there. I've talked about Helen Van Wyck before, and she would sometimes just, kind of block in what she saw as the big negative shape, and then fill it in. So we're trying something like that. So I like doing glass. It's a challenge to paint what you see. I don't want to be too literal though either. I wanted to, we'll be painting some of this pattern in enough to, explain some of it. I'm so glad spring's coming. It's not been super warm here though. I've also laid out one of the blooms. We'll see if we like that or not. Like say you try to make plans on what you're going to do, but You got to be prepared to change things. Sometimes in your head you think they're going to work and they just don't. And hopefully you catch that early, but sometimes you don't. You get far into it and then you wipe it off, and that's okay. I'm kind of just putting in a negative shape of these flowers. And then I've got all kinds of leaves. I've got leaves down in here too. And of course, you know, stems and these are not, my daughter has a big lilac, you know, like a tree almost. These are different than that. These are tiny, delicate things. I don't know. It's a bush. It's a little bush that I bought years ago. Painted a cute little kind of barn antique shop today. We were in a little burg of a place, Miamisville, Ohio. I'd never been there. I was standing at the corner painting it, and the owner left, pulled by me and gave me his business card. So that tells me he wants to see the painting, hopefully, right? So, you know, Barb, I'll be sending it to him. I got to take another good look at it and make sure I'm where I want to be with everything. But I always try to sell it to the owner of the place. I mean, because that's the person probably most interested in it. Again, these are purple. We got purple. We got lots of leaves. Nothing's too dark. They're more, the truest purple you can make, and I've said this over and over, is alizarin crimson and ultramarine blue, because that's your cool blue and your cool red. These, as I look at them, lean more toward crimson than blue. So we're just going to mix up, I think we'll start with the flowers, because I feel as though, I was going to say they're more important, but it's debatable. I mean, I probably will run the flowers up and off. It's both. Everything's important, really. The vase is important, too. So I'm debating where to start. Maybe we'll start with the vase. The vase is kind of a gray. So I'm going to take all three primaries and make a gray. Some green, you know, blue, yellow, red. And we'll do like we normally do, and we'll try to get 3 values. There are some darks down in there as I see it. And of course there are, you know, there are some leaves too. And a lot of the vase is very light. So we'll put some pure white out, and we'll pull little amounts of that gray into it to get something really light. All right, we'll grab a brush here. My rosemary, my favorite, number 6, long. It's a long flat ultimate. It's like a bristle. And we'll go after the darkest. And I don't even actually know as I look through there necessarily I can see some stems and stuff, but do I know what's causing the dark necessarily? It doesn't matter. I'm trying to, paint what I see. Glass is really fun, but again, it's a matter of painting what you see. Don't just go in there and outline the whole thing with white to create glass, though I see a lot of people do it that way. And we'll go ahead down here where we have some of these diamond patterns, and we'll put in a little bit of dark where I see it. Doesn't matter, but what colors you're using. Some of this is warmer, some of this leans more toward green. Now I can see, my box through there. And so we want to get something a little more yellow like the box. I can kind of see it. What is it about painting? I just love it. It just feels so good. I know sometimes you want to pull your hair out. It's just, harder than heck. But when it goes right, doesn't it feel wonderful? Okay, I might have went a little low because we go into our, let me wipe this little bit out, because this would be where our tablecloth is. So I'd be seeing that more through there. That's leans more toward white. Put it on. If it's wrong, you can take it off, but you don't know it's wrong till you put it on. I've even taken a little yellow and white. I think it's the light shooting through the vase that's creating this real intense light in a few places. And I'm not going for all that, all that detail. There is just too much going on there. I'm trying to simplify it. Up here at the top, I'm seeing the leaves. I've shoved some leaves down in there. So I'm just throwing some green in there. Different than painting just a clear vase, because everything's kind of pixelated in there, And there's a real bright edge on the top there we'll go after soon. And the bottom again, like I said, it's because we're seeing the tablecloth through here. It's pretty light. But I'm not going, hopefully, too light that we can't see our highlights. I'm picking up some of that sketch color, which is fine. And I see a lot of real, bright light shooting through there. And it's too early for that, but I'm going to play around with some of it because I just want to. Hopefully this panel don't fall off of here. I use packing tape a lot, but the disadvantage to that is it wants to pull the backing off my panels. So this is just masking tape. The panel's real lightweight. Trying to place some of these highlights where we see them. I'm mixing up like an orange. We'll see. So that'll get us started. We'll leave that alone for a little while and we'll go to the flowers. We lost some of this pattern, which we might even want. All right, let's go up here. I think I'm going to go after my greens first. No particular reason. I think we'll go ultramarine and Indian yellow, which is going to be pretty dark. And none of them are really that dark, probably. So let's put a little cad yellow light in it, cad yellow medium. All right, I'm going to stay, we'll stay across the brush with our hands so we don't get picky. We're painting. And we do have to paint the background in, of course, and we'll be getting into some of this, I'm quite sure. Got a leaf kind of coming over the edge, which is nice. That's enough little random leaves. What color are the stems? The stems are kind of a gray. And there's a good chance we'll be redefining a lot of this once we go to putting the background in. But I just want to, for now, we'll down in the glass, you know, I'm seeing some stem patterns. All right, again, our truest purple is going to be ultramarine and alizarin crimson. That's your cool red, your cool blue. All right, we'll throw some white in it and see where we are. Whether I have it too blue, and I do. It leans more toward crimson. And usually with flowers, I end up with my palette knife in there, so I'm imagining we will. These are weird little flowers. They're just little long things. Here, let me show you the one I laid down here at the bottom. See? Unusual, aren't they? And I don't know if we may just kind of suggest, you know, one down here. All right, now I could go right in with the palette knife. Like I said, in actuality, they're little long things. I don't know that I'm too worried about that. Kind of getting the shape in, and then we'll maybe come back and explain some of them. You know, these are probably not what you think of when you think of lilacs anyway, right? Because not for me, they're not. We'll see how that works. We'll just throw some purple down there for now. I think what we'll do now is we'll go ahead and get some background color in before we come back and work on these anymore. And again, I've got a box back there. They wouldn't have to be that color, but it might work kind of nice. I'm not going to pick around and, you know, cover up all my orange. You're going to see it, so. There is, you know, somewhat of a shadow. I don't know how that'll work, but let's try it. like a hard edge between my background and my foreground. Just checking the shape over and over of the base. It's kind of a squared off, kind of unusual shape, the base. As you can see, I'm not being very fussy with the flowers. We just got some color in there. Sometimes something to watch for with glass, which is really fun, which I am seeing a little bit of that. Sometimes you'll get effects through the glass into the shadow. You know, you don't get a solid shadow. All right, let's go back to the flowers now. I haven't taken any care really there, as you can see. Mixing up more purple, again pulling it toward the crimson more than the blue. And I want to get lighter now. You know, I see little petals. Making sure you see some of the stems. Now let's see if we can't even, with a limited palette, you know, of course, I'm working with blue, red, and yellow mostly, but there's lots of wonderful colors that you can get for flowers. They make something called radiance even. Gamblin makes them. If you're not familiar with those, and the colors are just that, they're kind of radiant. I'm just mostly going crimson and white now. Trying to get a little variety and Okay, let's get a little more brightness in some of these leaves where I see it. Maybe a little white, a little more yellow. There aren't many of them really intense. That one that's curved down there is catching some light. Actually, surprisingly, a lot of them are, probably because it's going through the glass. And I haven't done much with this down here. I don't really care necessarily. We'll see how it feels. Get a little darker. I feel like I have this panel hanging a little crooked. I don't know how it feels to you. I'm looking at this leaf now that I have it so light. I don't think it, and we may have to rethink that. I think it's making my, I don't know that you'd understand it was a leaf, and I think it might be making my shape of my vase feel odd. So I don't know that I want it. Adjust, right? That's what it is. That's what painting is. I don't know if y'all follow Eric Rhodes. He puts out Plein Air magazine. He's online all the time. He does a lot of different things. He's doing the Plein Air convention this year that they're having in Colorado. But anyway, he does this thing every year that, you know, it's on my bucket list to go to New York, and you stay at a college and you spend the week there just plein air painting in beautiful locations. There's no instruction. You just spend time with artists. It's just something I like to do. a gentleman that I paint with every week. He's going this year. I'm jealous. He's going up in June. One of these years, maybe. It's one of those things, though, you probably want to drive yourself, so you got a car. And my sweet husband, he takes me all over to workshops and stuff, and he would take me. But then, you know, we both would need the car, so that's a disadvantage. You know, and you could mess around and put as much detail as you wanted, you know, in this face. Oh, I'll tell you one thing I've completely missed, because, you know, you're observing, and is a water line. I just missed the water line completely. Wouldn't have to have it at all. Usually, you know, when you get down below the water line, the color is different too. Not so much with this, because I don't know why. I don't even know how I feel about that now that I've got it in there. Don't like it. And I will probably, don't know that I'll, well, let's do it. Well, that stuck pretty good, didn't it? I'm going to turn it upside down. So we'll see if we can bring you down. See if I can get you low enough to see it. This is something I like to do. I like to turn it upside down and see if it feels symmetrical. And there's a lot of texture in the flowers and the leaves. That's where it is. We could take a palette knife to these blooms that we put over here and kind of put a little texture there too. I need to continue that line so it feels again, I could pick around and, you know, create all the shapes I see in there, but I don't, that's up to you if you were doing it. Whatever you think you need. All right, I'm looking around for any other little highlights that I missed. There's a lot of them actually. So many, really. It just depends. I mean, like I said, I'm guessing that the light going through this is what's causing that real bright light over there. I think we're going to quit messing with it before we mess it up. I personally would rather quit on the side of it being less finished than more finished. I like the darks in there. Okay, I think we'll stand up and we'll try to put our mat around it. I wonder if I can hang it back up. That would work better. And I got it up there crooked again. All right, hang on there. Let me get out of here. How long were we at this? About 50 minutes. It's a small painting though. Put an update on my sheep on last night if you saw that. I'll be at that a while. You know, it's not one of those paintings that I need for anything, so I'll just keep tweaking it till I get it where I want it. Okay, let's get our little mat, and we'll try to put that on and give you an idea of what it looks like cleaned up. There we go, that's kind of it. Again, it's up there a little crooked. So I'll look at it and see what else I think it needs, but I think it's kind of a pretty little painting. And again, they're not your typical lilacs. I'm not sure. It's like I say, it's a bush, and you could render the heck out of this, whatever your style is and whatever you want it to be. Again, I always feel that way, that I would rather quit too soon than take it too far. You know, there it is again. I think palette knife works well for flowers. Gives you that dimension. All right, please like and subscribe if you haven't done that yet. And we'll be checking in. Like I said, I did plein air paint today. I should have done a couple shorts, before and after, but I'll try to remember to do that. I already see a little, maybe that needs to come in a little there. All right, I'll shut up and let you go. You have a nice evening. Watch for me next time.